Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Phyllis Dickerson, the CEO for the African American Mayors Association. Thank you so much for joining us today for one of our first orientations to AAMA. I want to take this moment to introduce our staff. With us today is Carlos Nichols, the Managing Director and Chief of Staff for AAMA, Keviana Rawls, the Grant Coordinator, and Ashley Roberts, Director of External Affairs and Special Events for AAMA. And last but not least, Darian Basin, Director of Policy and Programs. We'll later introduce you to some of our consultants that we have on hand. So let me now pass it on to Carlos to talk about history.
Awesome. So AAMA's history dates all the way back to the founding of multiple Black mayors organizations. And we're going to get the slide pulled up here so that you all can see. So we start with the founding of the Alabama Conference of Black Mayors in 1972, which expanded into the Southern Conference of Black Mayors in 74, and then the next iteration of the National Conference of Black Mayors in 78. It was in 2014 when Mayor Johnny Ford, who you can see on this actual picture, whom we celebrated at the 10-year anniversary, nominated and moved that Mayor Kevin Johnson, during the re-election as president of the National Conference of Black Mayors, actually put forth a plan that the National Conference of Black Mayors be evolved into the African American Mayors Association. And so it was during that time, 2014, that on May 1st in Washington, D.C., that AAMA was founded with Mayor Kevin Johnson of Sacramento, California at the helm, along with other mayors. And AAMA at this time was focused on it was founded on the principles of transparency and accountability, but also honoring the rich legacy of Black mayors, including Mayor Maynard Jackson of Atlanta, Georgia, Ambassador Andrew Young of Atlanta, Georgia, A.J. Cooper of Pritchard, Alabama, Johnny Ford, Tuskegee, Alabama, and Wellington Webb in Denver, Colorado. So once again, AAMA was launched May 1st, 2014, 10 years ago. And AAMA has become definitely the preeminent organization that represents over 500 African-American mayors in the United States. Stephanie Mash Sykes was appointed as AAMA's first executive director and founder in 2014, and she served until 2021. And in August of 2021, the Board of Trustees of Phyllis Dickerson, CEO, and under her leadership, AAMA has grown. And currently, the AAMA office has relocated and is currently located at 660 North Capitol Street Northwest. We're sitting here in the office in Washington, D.C. in January of 2023. And at this time, I will pass it off to Darian Basin, who is our Director of Policy and Programs, who will go over our Board of Trustees and our Advisory Board.
Thank you, Carlos. AAMA's Board of Trustees consists of 17 members. They meet quarterly, at least twice in person and twice virtually, to share insights for AAMA's strategic guidance and discuss AAMA projects and activities. The Executive Committee consists of the President, Mayor Stephen Reed, First Vice President, Mayor Byron Brown, Second Vice President, Mayor Wayne Messam, Treasurer, Mayor Van Johnson, Secretary, Mayor Sharon Weston Broom, Immediate Past President, Mayor Sean Patterson Howard, and Past President, Mayor Frank Scott Jr. AAMA's Advisory Board consists of 8 members. They advise the Board of Trustees on matters relating to the business and affairs of the corporation, and to suggest or be available for consultation with regard to projects or activities that the corporation may undertake, consistent with its purposes and furtherance of AAMA's goals and objectives. And next, I'll pass it on to my colleague, Ashley, who will talk about membership.
Good afternoon, everyone. AAMA is the only organization that exclusively represents Black mayors in the United States from small, medium, and large cities. We have over 140 dues-paying members, and this is a membership organization. It's based on the city population, and it's renewed annually. 4 out of the 5 largest cities in the U.S. are led by Black mayors, and 30% of the top 25 cities are led by Black mayors. So these are the people that we represent. Our organization is run by mayors for mayors, which means that we understand the issues that cities face and that mayors face as well. Our goal is to empower today's mayors for the benefit of their communities, and we do this through best practices, equity-driven advocacy, innovative partnerships. We create community for the mayors, as AAMA is a safe place for Black mayors to exist. We share best practices and allow mayors to learn. That takes place at our conferences, events, roundtables, briefings. We also build community through our policy program, cohorts, grant programs, as well as virtual gatherings like these. We make connections for federal agencies, and we represent the organization on a federal level, advocating for those federal funds, as well as taking positions on policies that affect our communities. Lastly, we partner with Fortune 500 companies, small businesses, and nonprofits to come up with collaborative solutions to the city's pressing issues. Our corporate business council is made up of almost 100 different organizations in a variety of industries. The most impactful of our membership benefits is the team here at AAMA to serve you. Not only is the staff experienced in a variety of private and public sector, we have our dedicated consultants, a team made up of communications firms, PR firms, legal firms, who have that expertise in local government, and they serve as a resource to the mayors and the membership. So I'm going to turn it over to our consultants.
Jared from Ice Miller, Jared Lowholt.
Good afternoon, Jared Lodholt. We are both legal counsel to AAMA on legal issues that arise, but we also are policy counsel. And so what that work looks like is we advise mayors and AAMA on issues, particularly in Washington, that affect municipalities. We support the various policy committees that AAMA has that mayors can participate in directly, as well as business council members. And we also do webinars and other information sharing events where we share information about funding opportunities, what's happening in Washington, and how you can secure dollars and bring them back to your city. And finally, we are piloting and hoping to launch this summer office hours, where 1 day a week on Friday for an hour, we'll commit our team's time and attention to a single city, where they can raise 3 to 5 issues where they think federal dollars or federal policies could be helpful to them. And we guide them through what we think could be potentially helpful for their municipalities. And so we're launching that hopefully this summer. We're working on this now with the city of Montgomery, and we're piloting this work. But we feel like the combination of the policy committees, our broader advocacy, and the office hours kind of give mayors, and information sharing and webinars, give mayors kind of a comprehensive universe of what's out there and what they can do to tap into funding resources in Washington in particular that can help to address some of the issues that they're working on in their cities.
Thank you, Jared, for you and the work that you and Ice Miller do for AAMA. Now we'll pass it on to Mercury Public Affairs. Quay.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Quay Noel Kelch. I'm Vice President of Media Relations for Mercury Public Affairs. I'd like to introduce members of our team. Is Olivia DeLuca, who will be joining us in a few minutes. Will Miller and Clay Middleton are our team. We handle all media relations and communications for AAMA. On a daily basis, we handle press inquiries, coordinate interviews. We write press releases and statements, talking points, media pitches, op-eds. We do that on a daily basis. In addition to that, our goal is to amplify any member mayor communications that are connected with AAMA priorities. We help to identify media opportunities for AAMA and member mayors to speak on behalf of the organization. And we also handle communications for any AAMA events, any workshops, any webinars, any events that come up throughout the year. We also recently have been working on a bi-weekly media toolkit that some of you all have seen. It goes out to mayors and staffs. It is topic-oriented, theme-oriented, and we are hoping that your staff and mayors will engage with that particular topic on social media and in your regular daily occurrences. We're hoping it's helpful. It should provide some background information on that particular topic as it relates to AAMA and give you ways to engage with AAMA. We are happy to be here, happy to assist. And as you'll see on this slide, these are some media hits that happened during AAMA's national conference. We got some great coverage during the national conference on CNN and other media outlets. So thank you. Looking forward to working with everyone.
Thank you, Quay. And next is the design group, Stephanie Jackson.
Thank you, Phyllis, and Carlos or whomever is running the slides, if you'll just back it up a few. And while they're doing that, thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm Stephanie Jackson, Vice President of Public Engagement at the Design Group. And I previously had the pleasure of serving the mayor of Little Rock, Arkansas, Frank Scott Jr. He was the AAMA president during the 22-23 term. And so very familiar with what is happening within the cities from a communication standpoint. And so it is our pleasure to be here with you today. The design group also has the pleasure of helping AAMA tell the story. And so how do we do that? We do that through website design and development, social media, content production and management, graphic design, and then newsletter development. You'll advance that slide. Now, you may have noticed that the online home of AAMA, ourmayors.org, has undergone an extreme makeover that happened on last fall. And so if you have not already had a chance to visit the website, we invite you to do so. ourmayors.org is the web address. And this design maximizes user experience, provides an in-depth view of the website, the leadership, members, history, policy, also how to further engage with AAMA through newsletter sign up and submitting news for the newsletter, and many other ways as well. So obviously, maybe not, one of the most visited pages of the site is the membership. And so we invite you to check out your entry, or if you're here representing another mayor, please check out your mayor's entry. We would love to hear from you too. You know, if you want us to update a photo, we've had to do that over the last few weeks as mayors have engaged with the website since the conference in April. Turning to social media now, I hope that you are following the AAMA social media channels. We are on Facebook, LinkedIn, X, formerly Twitter, and also YouTube. So during that conference in April, if you did not get a chance to engage with us, you missed a lot of great content. We've spotlighted some of that, so we invite you to go and check that out. But our content ranges from member mayor spotlights, which we do on Mondays, to raising awareness about issues important to you, the member mayors, through our policy work. So again, find us on X, Twitter, which is formerly Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Our Mayors, and then on LinkedIn and YouTube, you can search for the African American Mayors Association. Lastly, if you do have news that you would like to share through the AAMA newsletter, we invite you to please let us know. You can do that in the communications room on the website. You can submit your news now. This does have to undergo approval process, so want to make sure that you're aware of that. But please submit your news. We dropped that link for you to bookmark into the chat. So please take advantage of sending us your news. And then also, if you have not already signed up for the newsletter, please be sure to also sign up for the newsletter. That's also dropped into the chat for you to find it easily. I think that concludes our portion of the presentation. So thank you so much. And Phyllis, back to you.
Thank you. And last but not least, Stacy Uji is our Environmental Defense Fund Fellow. So Stacy.
Thank you so much, Phyllis. And thank you, Carlos, for setting this up. It is a pleasure to connect with all of you. As Phyllis said, I am the fellow from the Environmental Defense Fund. And what that means to you is that I exist to expand your climate capacity. And what I mean by that is I'm able to support you for most of the federal dollars that are coming down the pike. Your admissions ticket is having a viable climate action plan. So our goal at Environmental Defense Fund is to make sure our mayors all have updated climate action plans so that they can actually apply for money. You'll see from us from time to time in the AAMA newsletter, we have information about grants that are available to you. If you see anything, you have some questions, please feel free to reach out to me. And then the other thing that I have the pleasure of working on is our Economic Mobility Leadership Institute. We call it Emily for short. And through this particular project, we focus on financial literacy and building generational wealth. And so we have a series of cohorts that are coming out of that project, as well as some other exciting events later on. So hopefully we'll be able to connect with you and include you on some of those events. If you have an interest, again, please feel free to reach out to me. And I look forward to talking to all of you. Thank you so much. Back to you, Phyllis.
Thank you. So Carlos, can you take us to upcoming events?
Absolutely. So everyone, if you could just mark your calendars, we also have calendar invites and invitations going out. Our next AAMA session will be session number 2. You'll get to get a deeper dive with our policy programs, cohorts, and grants. There'll be a deeper dive with the Ice Miller team and along with Stacy and those opportunities. On June the 14th, we will have our virtual annual Pride Summit. June the 20th through the 23rd, we will all be meeting in Kansas City, Missouri, for the U.S. Conference of Mayors annual meeting. And on the 20th, there is the AAMA reception in partnership with Kansas City and with H&R Block. Those invitations have gone out, so please make sure that you RSVP. They are inside of your email boxes. And then on June the 27th, we will have our final AAMA session, our final deep dive session, a fireside chat with leadership, including with our CEO, Phyllis Dickerson, our president, Mayor Stephen Reed, the board of trustees, and other advisory council members. So mark your calendars and make sure you're checking your email boxes and you're looking for those calendar invites so that you are present and accounted for. At this time, I'm going to pass it over to Keviana Rawls, who is our grants, I want to say grants coordinator, our grant support, and she is going to lead us through any questions and answers that any of you may have, our mayors, our staff that are present. So Keviana.
Hi, so if you all have any questions, you can put them in the chat or you can feel free to raise your hand and we will take questions now. Yes, Mayor Robinson, if you want to come off of mute.
Good afternoon, good morning, depending on what part of the world you're in. I appreciate the community that you all created, the history, the long history, and I've been to a few events and meetings. And while I appreciate my brothers and sisters that are leading cities in big cities, I don't see like a lot of cohort or work around small rural spaces as if we don't exist. And I think what happens is a lot of the times we talk about championing what's going on in big cities, as we should, but I think folk that represent small cities like myself, rural spaces, we are actually majority percentage wise of where Black people exist, especially in the South. If you consider that we are overrepresented in rural spaces. So I don't know if we have a Southern or a rural leadership or cohort, but I would love to know how you all champion some of the things that we're doing in these spaces to make sure that Black people have or our residents have a quality of life that is beyond what it is at this point. Thank you for taking my question.
Thank you, Mayor Robinson. So one, as it relates to our Emily Institute, a third of those participants are from small rural communities, just so that we're able to collect the data to compare it against mid and large size cities. And actually, they do better in the cohort than the medium and large size cities. So last year was our first year doing Emily, and this is the second cohort. So if you're interested, next year we're going to do another cohort. And so you can be at the top of the list on that particular one. But also on that note, if there are particular ideas that you have or information or sessions that you want to have as it relates to either rural or small city development, please let us know, because we can put together webinars even with federal agencies, because we know Stacy and her team on the EDF side, they also concentrate on assisting small cities that don't have grant managers, where basically the mayor is the grant manager, in applying for some of the federal funding, because we realize that you don't may or may not have the sweat equity to do so. And so so Stacy is that point of contact on the funding side. But any other ideas that you have that are that you would like to bring forth, feel free to email us and we'll try to get it done.
And I definitely don't want to monopolize the time of this meeting because I know people have other questions, but I definitely have some ideas. Like I've been fortunate to have national contacts outside of my position as mayor through my work as the founder of Black Male Voter Project. And I've been using those contacts and some of my private business folk to bring in, for instance, I live in the poorest city in North Carolina. I'm the mayor of poor cities in North Carolina and the 8th poorest city in the United States, according to Forbes. And we said if we're paying people minimum wage of $7.25, then they should also be able to own a house. So we created the Horizon Project. We found builders and also a lending partner that's willing to give mortgages to our people. My town is 97% Black. Mortgages to our people who are making minimum wage. And I don't have any assistance from the state or county government or federal government. So I would love to talk through that with whoever I should be talking to. So thank you all. I see you, Stacy. About to see
Yes.
you.
Stacy's excited when you said that housing piece, so she'll be reaching out to you in a few more minutes.
Jared, we think you're talking, you're on mute, Jared. Oh,
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you, Mayor Robinson. If there's anyone else with a question, feel free to take yourself off mute or put it in the chat. It looks like Mayor Robinson put his phone number, so Stacy, if you want to chat, get that down. Thank you.
Any more questions? All right, Carlos, you want to close us out?
So thank you everyone for attending. These sessions are designed to be no longer than 45 minutes. We've done great on time today, but make sure that you check your emails. We know that the newsletter is coming out soon with a lot of information that you can pay attention to, but then also please join us again for our next session on the 13th. That once again is a deep dive into our policy programs, our programming, our cohorts, and our grant information that is available and the resources that are available to all member mayors. So thank you so much for your time, and we'll see everyone next time. Have a great day.
Thank you.